Collect overdue money, a billing service, collection agency, and debt arbitration guide. Chapter 1. Collecting money from deadbeats requires patience or jail. Collect money owed to you. If you're one of those types of people that can't stand getting ripped off, I suggest you don't get into business. Find some social service type of occupation like teaching or nursing. You will get ripped off in business. I took the Myers-Briggs personality test once. One of the questions was, do you have thoughts of revenge against people who wrong you? Of course I do. I ended up scoring 30 on their psychopathic dimension, whatever that means. Not that I care, but you had better have a strong sense of patience in business, because you're not allowed to beat people up or even touch them according to the law. People will rip you off and laugh in your face because they know we live in a society of laws. If you touch anybody in an aggressive way, it's assault. Business means trusting people to a certain point which will be violated. You have to be able to eat the losses and move on. The mafia or organized crime had an easy way to deal with money defaulters. Beat them up or kill them. The best we got is civil court and small claims court, where after you win a judgment, there is a good chance you will never collect your just due. Don't ever co-sign for a loan unless you intend to pay it off. Maybe co-sign for your children but not for friends, because they won't pay it. If you lend money, get a contract with a definite schedule of repayment. Apply the following information to both people and businesses. Before you give credit in a business, usually only to business customers as opposed to consumers, make them pay cash for a while to see how steady they are with that. Then you make them fill out a credit application which you pay the $10 or whatever it costs, or make them pay as part of the credit application, just like landlords do to prospective tenants. To Equifax.com, 800-997-2493, TransUnion.com, 800-888-4213, or any another local credit reporting agency/CRA that you can find listed in your phone book, and make your decision based on that. Do not go against a bad or mediocre credit report and give the guy a chance unless you got the word sucker tattooed on your forehead. You will regret it. Past behavior is the greatest indicator of future actions. People with bad credit rarely change. Why bother with giving them a chance? Stick with good clients only who pay their bills. Don't waste time on the rest. As an incentive to pay early, offer early payment benefits, 2% off the bill if paid within 30 days. Run credit checks on your clients every year or so, because credit ratings change and you could spot something they aren't telling you. Either go see the person or politely call him or her and record the call. If that doesn't work, send 2 to 3 registered letters so you have proof of a paper trail. Barring that, either threaten to go to a collection agency or go to small claims court or civil court depending on the amount. Pay about $20 to file the case. They will notify the defendant and you will go to court to hash it out in front of a judge with all your evidence like the recorded calls, letters, etc. That's about it. The best advice is don't lend money in the first place. If a friend asks you for money, tell him or her you've been through it before and you'd rather not have money come between the friendship. Case closed. If they push, tell them good friends don't ask friends to loan them money. In business, a customer will fill out a credit application which you will check out by running him or her through a credit check through a credit reporting agency. You decide what standard of credit rating you will take on as a credit customer. Arrange monthly terms that the customer can handle. If you're performing a service, ask for a down payment and installment payments as you go along. Have a simple, easy to understand invoice. Provide 2 copies, one for them, one for you included with the payment. Have a statement giving a discount for early payment and penalty for late payment. You will find that most of your customers have the money to pay at least some of what they owe you immediately. To keep them current and the number of accounts receivable in your files to a minimum, you should call them on the phone and ask for some kind of explanation why they're falling behind. If you develop such a habit as part of your operating procedure, you will find your invoices will magically be drawn to the front of their piles of bills to pay. While maintaining a courteous attitude, don't be hesitant or too much of a nice guy when it comes to collecting money. One guy put the names of all people with past due accounts on his sign outside. Many paid up very quickly. There's a middle ground between being nasty to collect your money and losing a customer in the process, or being nice and maybe getting your money, maybe not. Be reasonable to a certain point, but if they blow you off with lies twice, they're a bad customer. Try to get your money, then forget about them. On the other hand, if a customer usually pays on time but misses once or twice, let it slide until you see otherwise. Once the credit period has expired, generally 15 to 30 days, immediately send a duplicate statement with a stamp or sticker saying past due account. You can either buy software that prints out billing forms or billing forms at stationery stores. Give the customer the benefit of the doubt the first time, because maybe he didn't get the bill the first time or was sick or something. Keep a friendly tone. If you charge interest and a penalty, put it on the bill so the customer can see it. If you make it a practice to bill your customer promptly, you will find that they are more apt to pay promptly. On the other hand, if you run your business in a slipshod manner, you will find your customers slipshod in their dealings with you. Should a customer fall behind in his payments, you should start with a mild past due letter to remind him, perhaps alluding that he may have forgotten the due date of his payment. With this letter, you should definitely include a duplicate invoice stamped, past due. While making these moves, you can collect evidence in case it becomes necessary to take the matter to court. Call the debtor. This method, handled properly, can have surprisingly successful results. For best results, have another person on the line to witness the conversation. In case the debtor denies the call, you have a witness who can testify otherwise or a recording. 2 weeks later, send a second letter, this one more strongly worded than the first but at the same time in a dignified and courteous tone. The important thing here is to leave him an opening to voice a legitimate complaint if he has one, but at the same time demanding some sort of communication from him about this matter. Should you still not receive payment or any word from your debtor, send still another letter, your third, in which you apply a bit more pressure and appeal to his sense of fair play. Mention his credit rating and let him know that if he doesn't pay, you will be forced to turn his account over to a collection agency. However, never make threats you don't intend to carry out. Finally, 2 weeks after you've sent out your third letter and you still haven't heard from him, automatically turn his account over to a collection agency. No one likes to be on a collection agency's list, and once your customer finds out that you will indeed turn their accounts over to an outside agency for collection, they will quickly accept the fact that you are running a tight ship and not try to use you for a soft touch. If the debtor is a business, file a complaint with the BBB or the trade organization in which the debtor is a member. Make sure you stick to the facts in order to avoid being sued for libel. They may be able to arbitrate it. If it's a large amount of money, you can either sue in small claims court or hire a lawyer to file a civil case against them for non-payment of bills. Try this creative method. In this case, the amount of the debt is $27.39. After the first 3 or 4 statements have been ignored, and the account has stopped frequenting the store and taken his business elsewhere, the store sends out a statement showing an amount due of $73.29. There may also be a statement to the effect that this account is long past due and legal action will have to be taken if the entire account is not paid up immediately. The debtor might immediately call the store and is put through to the manager. He calms down the debtor and tells him that nobody wants to take advantage of him or cheat him. He suggests that the guy bring all his records to the office and that he, the manager, will personally get the matter straightened out. The guy brings his records to the store and the manager examines the records, checks his own and agrees that the correct amount owed is only $27.39 and not $73.29. The dude pays up the account or at least makes a partial payment. If he doesn't do this voluntarily, the manager convinces him. This is probably the first time that the guy has been back in the store since running up the unpaid bill. The creditor has been doubly penalized. He not only doesn't get his money but also loses out on future business because the debtor goes elsewhere for his purchases. At this point, the manager must make a decision. Since everybody is quite friendly at the moment, the account is paid up and the guy is happy that he is not being charged for approximately $50 more than he actually owed, it would be quite easy to get him back on the books with another purchase. The manager must decide whether or not this would be wise. There is always the possibility that our debtor just doesn't have the money to pay off his bill. In this event, the manager may suggest that he leave something of value as collateral until the debt is paid. Be consistent in your collection procedures and don't allow special favors. Set up a regular routine for collecting from past due accounts and then stick with that procedure. Unless you have supporting evidence to show that you have attempted to collect your bad debts, the IRS will disallow you to write them off as a business loss. Your collection letters should contain the date, name/address of the debtor, a description of the merchandise involved or the services rendered and the amount due. It's also a very good idea to include a self-addressed reply envelope in order to make it easy for him to mail his check. Something else to consider is the use of imprinted envelopes with the phrase "address correction requested," so the post office will provide you with a forwarding address in case he has moved. In almost all cases, you should address your letter to a specific person, not to either the purchasing department or the company in general. It should be your endeavor to try to continue your relationship with the person who signed authorization for the purchase in the first place. Your letters should be firm but reasonable and should leave the debtor an opportunity to set up a schedule of payments or an honorable way out of his financial problems. You or one of your agents might make a personal visit to see him and discuss the reasons why he hasn't paid, but if he doesn't want to talk to you and orders you off his property, you must not argue or attempt to reason with him. The only thing you can do in such a situation is to leave without further words. When you visit the debtor and he offers a partial payment, by all means accept it. Start by demanding the whole amount, but be ready to accept whatever he offers and work out some sort of payment schedule from there. If you can't collect the money, try bartering. Trade the price of your bill for something he has that you can either use, sell, or trade. Only as a last resort should you attempt to take back the merchandise you sold him. If the debtor claims to have mailed you a check more than a few days ago, long enough for the check to have reached you, demand that he stop payment on it and issue a new check. Above all else, keep cool and don't argue or become threatening towards him. To get results, collection letters should be distinctive. Some companies use a special letterhead printed in red ink which attracts the eye better than any other color and gets maximum attention. At the same time, a great many of the collection agencies say that smaller than standard-sized paper, plus the use of paper that feels and looks expensive, always gets better results. Never use humor in a collection letter. If you do, your recipient won't take your collection efforts seriously. Maintain a sense of urgency but don't imply that you're angry, serious, yes but angry, no. You should send out your letters over planned intervals, about once every 10 days or 2 weeks. This will work in your favor because when several creditors are on a debtor's heels, he generally responds the fastest to whoever is the most insistent. Be sure you don't ever defame a debtor in writing. To do so will give him a chance to get you for libel. To always make sure you're within your legal rights when trying to collect a bad debt, keep these rules in mind. Address yourself only to the person responsible for the bill that's owed. Billing service, collect overdue accounts. You can outsource your billing and collection to companies that offer this service. 1collectionagency.com. a2cb.com/collection/callbrochure.html. aabilling.com. apsfinancial.com/apsbilling/collections.aspx. arsolutions.com. billspastdue.com/collectionservices/collectionservices.html. buyerzone.com/finance/collections. byrondavis.com, Delaware. collect.org. collection-agency-information.com. collections.alloptions.com. collectionsreporting.com. crcollects.com. electronicmedbilling.com/default.htm. emsbilling.us. lapena.com. mbb.a1-medical-billing.com/medical billing insurance. medicabilling.com. person9.com. petroclassics.com/pe/collections/collections_agency. quadtechbillingservices.com/collections.asp. quotecatcher.com, business debt collection agency quotes 5 business debt collection agency price quotes. replicant.com. urs-inc.com. worack.com. expertcollections.com/faq.html. collecting money websites. A factoring company buys your accounts receivable for a fee agreed upon by the two of you, then owns them and is free to collect them any way he or she sees fit as long as it's legal. Most collection companies work on a commission basis. You pay nothing up front. You only pay them a percentage of what they recover. aegisfactor.com. allbusiness.com/accounting-reporting/accounts-receivable. allbusiness.com/accounts-receivable. allfreelancework.com/artkleberstein.php. The inability to collect money in a timely manner is a leading reason for small business failures. alliedAccountServices.com. New York firm collects for all industries and purchases delinquent receivables. amscollects.com. Delinquent accounts receivable debt collection agency. ascme.net/index.htm, business credit collection services. bouldercollect.com/business.html. bumchecks.com, collect money on bounced checks. businessfinance.com/account-receivable-credit-line.htm. businessfinance.com/commercial-account-receivable-financing.htm. businessknowhow.com/money/webcheckcollect.htm. ccaacollect.com/accounts-receivable-outsourcing.htm. certifiedinvestmentrecovery.com. ciscocollect.com, accounts receivable management. cohenandpratt.com, debt collection. collectar.com/seminar.htm, accounts receivable collections seminar. collectdebt.com. collectionlawyers.com/accounts-receivable.htm. credit-connection.com, Collection Bureau of America, licensed to collect in all 50 states. doccs.com, debt recovery software for collection agencies, medical facilities, utilities, and credit bureaus. gabler.com/collecting-business-debts.htm. nes1.com, National Enterprise Systems, collects past due debts and accounts receivable. Cycollect.com, commercial collection agency. Chapter 2. A collection agency guide. Collection agencies have limits. If a collection agency won't negotiate with you and keeps hounding you, send them a cease communication letter telling them to stop via the provisions of the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. They can only contact you once after that to tell you what further action they will take. This doesn't remove your debt, just gets the collection agency off your back. You still owe the creditor the money. If you want to lodge a complaint about a collection agency or credit card company, try the following. ftc.gov, 877 FTC Help. Debt buyers/second wave debt collectors. Bill collectors are often the company itself that owns the loan trying to collect from the debtor, but if they can't make headway with collecting it, they'll sell ownership of the defaulted loan for a low price to a debt buyer company who will then own the loan and try to collect what they can on it. These debt buyer companies are very aggressive in collecting on these defaulted loans. They say they don't break the law in trying to intimidate people, but they do because they know that most people are sheep and will allow themselves to be intimidated. Even though they risk being sued for their illegal intimidating actions, they figure they'll come out ahead and pay the fines when sued as a cost of business. Junk debt buyers are aggressive in trying to collect debt. Debt buyers are companies that buy the overdue and defaulted debt that consumers owe companies for pennies on the dollar, which gives them the legal right to go after the people who owe this debt even if it was discharged in bankruptcy or it was paid already. For the creditors, they're good because they get some money for loans that the company thinks it can't recover anyway. Debt buyers are very aggressive and use deceptive tactics. The FTC doesn't do much against them. Some states are now starting to pass laws to rein them in. Debt buyer websites. DebtConnection.com, Debt Buyers Association, a resource for recovery managers, collection agencies, debt buyers, debt sellers, companies trying to sell their money due accounts. DebtBuyers.com. CollectorFind.com, find a collections agency for your business. DebtMarketplace.com. Unifund.com. DebtSellers.us. DBAInternational.org. WebUICAJudgments.com. CollectionLawyers.com, representing debt buyers, California-based collection law firm with a nationwide presence. NATP.org/hotline/dcbasics.html. CreditMaxMarketing.com, technology for use in collecting debt. FirstDetroit.com. InsideArm.com. DebtSearch.com. DBACAN.ca, Canadian Debt Buyers Association. ACAInternational.org. DebtBuyersManagement.com, debt buying company. SagrasCO.com, debt buyers. AeroGlobal.net, debt buyers. Collection agency websites. You could hire the following companies to attempt to collect on money owed to you. Association of Credit and Collection Professionals. ACAInternational.org. CAJP.org, 661-664-0767, California Association of Judgment Professionals. American Collectors Association. POB 39106. Minneapolis, Minnesota 55439. 612-926-6547. Collector.com. Bill Collection Agencies. Professional Collector Magazine. Cadmus Custom Pub. 101 Huntington Avenue. 13th FL. Boston, Massachusetts 02199-7603. 617-424-7700. Fax. 617-437-7714. Pro Collector at cadmuscustom.com. cadmuscustom.com. advinfoc.com/collection-agency-resources. abccompanies.com. alliedsiredco.com. collectionagencyservices.net. collecto.com. debtsellers.us. dnbcollections.com. expressrecovery.com. finzysrich.com, collection agency based in Richmond, Indiana. madagency.com. moneycontrol.net, collection agency, Riverside, California. nes1.com. portfoliorecovery.com. site96.com. socalmall.com/asset forfeiture, 888-4 asset 4. tcmgroup.com. usacreditrecovery.com. Chapter 3. Debt arbitration/debt settlement. Debt arbitration/debt settlement/avoid bankruptcy. Debt arbitrators collect money owed to a business owner for a fee by contacting the debtor and offering them a deal like pay 50% and the debt is considered paid in full. In return for paying the debt, the person or company saves their credit report from getting a black mark. Some debt arbitrators go through a charade of having a hearing where both sides have their say, but the bottom line is that they are agents for the company owed money and want to collect at least part of it. Their leverage is to save the payer's credit record. If you owe money to someone and they hire a debt arbitrator to try to collect some of it, you can either make a deal to pay them something or they'll report your debt as a delinquent debt to the CRAs. If you owe someone money, make a pitch to them that you are willing to pay 40% of it if they're willing to mark it as paid in full in order to preserve your credit record. 4paydebt.com/debt-arbitration.php. AbundanceSolutions.net. AdaToday.com. adatoday.com/tax.htm, American Debt Arbitration for your income tax. afalending.com/debt.help.html. bizcap.com/reports/business-debt-arbitration.html. budhibs.com/m_worst_collection.htm, budhibs helps America hold debt collectors to the law. Bernstein&Bernstein.com, Debt Recovery and Arbitration, Clearwater, Florida. BusinessDebtSolutions.com. commercial-intelligence.net, a commercial debt recovery company. ConsumerDebtGroup.com. ConsumerDebtRelief.com. ConsumerLaw.org/initiative/debt_collection/press. credit-solutions.usa.com. debt-gone.com. debtregret.com/arbitration.html. debtrupside.com. debt-settlement-inc.com. debtsource.com. debtsource.com/bankruptcy.php. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/debt_arbitration.